Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And what you're looking at is the Suzuki Quadrunner 250 4x4 that I got from Andrew Camarada. And this is kind of really my initial assessment. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of situation I got cooking with this all-terrain vehicle. The last video I published on this thing was put in the penalty box, not suitable for all viewers, because when I described it as a quad runner with a space between quad and runner, and I used high mileage before that, and they thought I was picking on disabled folks, so they put my video in the penalty box. How's that for being a great thing with YouTube bots? Anyway, I am seeing some stuff that's got me a little bit concerned. I'm not an expert on Suzuki's, but just quickly, this looks like a trunk. Looks like it comes with some oil and an oil filter, which means hopefully at some point it did have the oil change. I did mention once again, this thing has 11,500 miles on it, which is quite a bit for this. As I'm looking around, what I need to get to is the starter, which appears to be down there, because I want to do a compression check on it. I do need to put some money into this thing. The front tires are really cracked quite a bit. I did get air into them, and if they hold until tomorrow morning, I could probably put slime in them and get them to hold a while longer, enough to at least get the initial ride out of it. I do have to put a recoil on it, and I think I took a quick look for them. They cost about $100. I asked a question about the recoil, and one of you guys said I have to take the seat off to use it. I'm just kind of looking at it. It really does. I think it's the one with the extended case on the recoil, which means I kind of have to go out the back. But anyway, let me get this air cleaner stuff off, right? You loosen these, and you know, hopefully, yeah, it looks pretty loose. Looks like it'll come right up. And then we can get to the starter. If we can do a compression test on this thing, we'll know a lot more about it. It should really be cool once it's running, right? Because besides the 5-speed for the engine, it's got, you know, high, low, super low, differential lock, 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, reverse. I mean, it's got a lot of cool levers to play with. What I envision for this thing is I have a couple of tractor style snowblowers. I'd really love to mount an engine to one of those things and put dolly wheels on it, you know, casters that swivel on it, and use this thing to push that through the snow with the 4-wheel drive and the differential lock and all that kind of stuff. I imagine it would do it, and perhaps over horsepower the snowblower a little bit so that it can really toss snow. But anyway, this thing has to actually start up and run first. Looks like I have another couple of wires doing interesting things here. Well, we'll see. So I got the air cleaner assembly out of there, not all that hard. You guys could see the carburetor, the starter, so it's just a matter of clipping a lead to that and it'll go nice, it'll go round and round. But one thing I always check before I power the starter, you just want to make sure that right, it's not, you don't have a thrown rod or anything bad going on here. So that looks good. I was just looking around for where the battery lives, and it appears, I think it's up front here. And the reason why, you could see that you got that area right here that that I would guess holds a battery. While I was also here, I noticed this. Right. So the other, no, this one shot too. So that's obviously not good. Yeah, I don't know if they sell replacement ones or if I could put the split ones on from a car perhaps. But you really don't want to run like that. If you trash the CV joints, that's yet more money. So it rolled pretty good to get here, so I think they're okay. Anyway, let's try to get a battery onto this thing and see what it'll do. Sure enough, this is where the battery lives. Though we have some creative Rube Goldberg going on here. Yeah, definitely a little scary. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this wouldn't carry enough current to really turn the starter over. So I don't know what they've been up to here. I'm going to put some power to the battery and we'll see what lights come on if we turn it over and all. But once again, this doesn't look heavy enough to engage the starter. Anyway, we'll see. We might see smoke. So it's the next day and just a couple of things. Got air there. Got less air there. What we're going to do today for this thing is we're going to do a compression test. And then after the compression test, what am I going to do? I'm going to check the spark. And if I have a spark and compression, we're going to give it a couple hoots of starting fluid and see if we can't get this thing started. So I have the air cleaner off, but to get an accurate compression test, one should have the throttle wide open, and I do. And if you can see, I have the jump pack on here and the leads. By the way, this is jump pack number 2 from Harbor Freight, and it also is not holding a charge any longer. So you know what I think of those jump packs. Do not buy them. So let's see what we get. Wow, 150 psi. That's pretty good. Got plenty of compression. What do you guys think of the sound of that motor? It sounds like I got a valve that's completely loose. Let's try it with no back pressure and see what it sounds like. Listen. Yeah, that doesn't that valve, I think the valves need to be tightened up. Well, you guys know what that is, right? It's rubberized death right there. Alright, let's see if we can't see some spark on this rig. Cast the shadow. There we go. I don't see anything. You guys see anything? Run. Ignition's on. We'll go an extra step with the ignition. Maybe that'll help. Sometimes the right, we learned that with the big red. Okay, let's try that again, see if we get some spark. don't see spark. You guys see spark? I don't see spark, and I don't hear spark. That's not a good sign. Well, I'm going to spend a few minutes looking at some wires to see if they did anything here. Just a quick checkup. You know, there's a lot of this kind of stuff. I mean, this thing does have 12,000 miles on it, so one would expect a certain amount of trouble, so to speak, or wear, or whatever you want to call the tape and splints. Yeah, but that's not good. No spark is no so good. I have to do some research. I have to take a quick look to see what the schematics look like. Particularly, I need to see if this needs 12 volts to spark. If it does need 12 volts to spark, then I have to see if perhaps my 12 volts isn't getting to the ignition system. If it doesn't need 12 volts to spark, I have to see if it has a pulse generator and what kind of pulse generator. My China ignition systems work best with a piezoelectric effect, a semiconductor, so to speak, pulse generator, a solid state pulse generator. It works better with that than the wound type pulse generators, which is a ferrule core like my finger with wire wrapped around it. So it will work with both, but for longevity it's better to go with the piezoelectric one. So this video is starting to get long. I'm going to end it here, and you guys could hear and see, and if here, give that a sniff. Oh yeah, it smells like a teenager's locker. Gym locker, that is. Man, that's just some nasty smelling stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking I should shut down the video because I'm wasting your time. I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out there and fix a quad today. Bye now.